Hello and welcome back to the garden. I didn't really get much gardening done this week, simply because this week I was working on my next big winter project, which was laying the back walkway for the back door. Previously, if you may have seen, I had, and I may have shown in other videos, I had just pea gravel and some horrible stepping stones, and the pea gravel gets on the stepping stones and it's uncomfortable under the feet and blah, 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 blah. Now I'm laying a nice brick pathway, not quite done yet, unfortunately, but I'm laying a nice brick pathway that should hopefully be a lot more comfortable to walk on and nicer to maintain and less chance of weeds and grass and everything else growing up in between the cracks. Now, that's not to say I didn't get anything done in the garden necessarily. I did turn around and dig out one of the raised beds for the upcoming birdie bed that's going to go in its place. So I had to dig all that compost soil out of the bed and make room for the new bed. So it's ready to go. Like I said, I did do a little bit of gardening. I was in the greenhouse one day watering, and there's these leftover, I believe these violas, otherwise known as pansies, I believe. Yes, I'm not an expert on these things. And this old, rattered, tattered, beat up, still alive though, petunia. So I put them into this nice pot, threw a little vermiculite on top, give everything a good water, and hopefully really take off once the warm weather kicks in, which should probably be another month or so. We'll have to see what Mother Nature has. Like I said, my last freeze date is April 1st, but we could be getting into the 70s as early as end of March. And this weekend, I'm also going to try to turn around and sow some more seeds. In fact, let's see, what do I have up on the calendar for this weekend? I have some penstemon and snapdragons this weekend. So not a lot this weekend. Just look at my calendar here where I've explained in previous videos how I break it all down. Basically, I just look at the back of the seed packet and see what it recommends, when it recommends to plant it or start it indoors and or outdoors. So for instance, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be dropping poppy on the ground because they recommend that you start them, and I've had the best luck starting them germinating in ground, sowing in ground as it were. And basically you just spread it on the ground or in a pot. I have actually a couple of pots on the back deck I'll show you in a later video. The seeds have dropped and now they're full of poppies, so I'm going to leave them there and hopefully I get a beautiful display come the springtime. But there are new varieties of poppies and different poppies I want to spread throughout the garden this spring. I'll be doing that in the next few weeks. But this week has just been me working on that back pathway. I had to do a lot of digging for that brick pathway. There was a ton of sand I had to remove. I had to remove the old ground cloth because it was all tattered and ripped up. I had to lay the new timbers and dig them in and try to get them level. And it was a whole process. But it's done. Well, at least the structure is done. The bricklaying is still, I got to do a lot of bricklaying. Hopefully I can get that done over the weekend and get all that sanded in. I will be using the poly sand. I have a bucket left over from when I started doing the front walkway. So I'll be using the poly sand and try to get that all in this weekend and get that all sealed and locked in, and that'll be good to go. It's been a lot of work and I am sore and I am tired. I'm gonna try to get the bricks done today, maybe, like I said, and then I'll turn around and do the, what do they call that? It's a poly sand. Now, poly sand, now a lot of people have love and hate with it. I kind of have a love-hate with it too. It is basically a cement. You have to do it when everything's bone dry, and you have to get all of it or as much of it off of the brick as possible, which means hours of sweeping. Kid you not, hours of sweeping, because you want that sand to be into the cracks and the grooves, and you don't want the sand to be on top. Otherwise, when you do your watering and you set it in, it will create a film on the brick, and then it'll discolor the brick, and then it's a lot of work. But I think what you get in the end is a a better or more solid product. Maybe, if that makes any sense. If you guys have done bricklaying or anything like that, or made your own pathways, please leave those comments below. And on the next video, hopefully everything will be done and I'll show you the end result. But it's the space next to that walkway that I really would like your guys' help with, because I'm not sure what to do with it. Right now it's just full of pea gravel and junk. Some of that will be cleaned up with when I finish up the project. It's just right now a storage place for the hoses over the winter. But what I'd like to know from you guys is, what should I do with that space? It gets funny sunlight, so during the summertime, it's mostly in shade most of the morning, and then I think from like 1, 2 o'clock, it's in blazing sun until about probably 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then the rest of the time it's in shade, and I'm not sure what I should do with it. Should I make some sort of shade garden? Should I do, one of my crazy ideas was putting a fountain back there and then just have the gurgling water listening to it, make a nice base for it in the middle of the pea gravel, put a fountain there, and then you just have this gurgling water fountain going all the time. That's something that maybe I'll do. I don't know, and I'd have to electrify it because I couldn't do solar. Another option, which I'm really wouldn't be looking forward to, but it would be, the end result would, I think, be good. Make some sort of shade garden, maybe. I don't know. Fill it with hostas, heucheras, maybe an extension, as it were, to the driveway garden, wrap it around. If you guys have any thoughts as to what I should do with that space, I really would like your input, really would like your suggestions. Do I do some sort of Italian design thing? Sky's the limit. Whatever you guys can come up with, I'm open to any and all suggestions. So again, let me know in those comments below. And maybe if you guys leave some comments over the weekend, then the next video probably on Monday, we can hash those over. And if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, please go over to growinggrowingfinger.com, scroll the way to the bottom of the homepage, drop in your email address, and at the end of February, you'll get a newsletter. Basically just recapping everything that happened during the month of February, any thoughts or anything that's rolling into my head, things like that. Who knows, maybe I'll throw in some cute pictures of Sophie there for you. Right, Soph? You're a YouTube star. Half the people only turn in for you. Anyways, if you haven't checked out the links below, please check out the links below. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Click that bell icon to be notified when I do post a new video. This way you don't miss out on any of the silly shenanigans that are going on around here, because once the pathway is done this weekend, then it's time to start the next project, which I'm not sure what it'll be. Maybe it'll be the birdies beds, or maybe I'll start off doing another project, which I can't think of right now. There's so many projects to do. Spring is still a ways off, but we're getting there. It's the train is picking up steam, and before you know it, spring will be here, and there's a lot to do before spring. So until then, I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.